Hello, how are you doing? In this video, I want to just briefly go through what you find in the playlist here. So, after this video, you'll get a version of, or two versions even, of each of the songs played in the beginner course. So we got songs from Tracy Chapman and Bob Dylan and Green Day and Bob Marley and Oasis and Bill Withers and all kinds of stuff. What I've done here is created a one guitar version. So if we take, for example, Talking About a Revolution, which is a Tracy Chapman track, I'm playing exactly what she does on the recording, but then I also develop it. I use the second guitar part from the recording as well, and as a little breakdown, and then I use a bigger, more strummed version for the chorus, and then go back to the picking version and then play her bit again. So that's a good thing to learn, just to kind of grasp the original song. But more importantly, there's a second guitar version, and this is when you start to really learn about playing guitar, because you've got to invent something that works with what is already happening. And that's kind of what this course is about. It's first you learn a version that works of the song to play just on your own or, with a singer. But then how do you complement it? And that means also that once you learn the second guitar part, you can play with me and the singer, and it's like we're a little band. And that's really the whole point of this course. It's playing with me rather than on top of me. And that's what you need to get good at in general in order to play guitar well. The second song we do is Redemption Song. Here we actually have three different versions of the song. We're using a capo to get in a different key, and then the capo means that we get back in the same key, but we think in a different key. And now again, you're learning more about playing guitar than just, copying what I do or learn from tab or whatever. So it's the second, and in this case, the third guitar as well, that where the relearning begins. And then we have a song called Robin Hood by Ocean Colour Scene. Again, there's a second guitar part there. One More Cup of Coffee by Bob Dylan. Second guitar part, very, very important. The Drugs Don't Work. I actually taken the original strummed part, which you hear on the recording, and I transcribed that, and it's extremely complicated actually. So we learn that exactly. You can read it, so that's a reading exercise, or you can kind of learn one or two of these verses and then let go of it and play the general gist of it. But you just play along with me there, and you learn that first guitar. And then the second guitar I've actually copied from the original as well, which is a fantastic part. It's so well written. I was completely amazed when I started to transcribe this. It's fantastic. So I've transcribed that, and I'll show you in exact detail how to play that. And then what happens on the recording is that after a few verses and choruses, the acoustic guitars kind of disappear, and they're replaced by all these strings and drums and all this other production. And mainly it's actually a shaker. So what I've done there is I've taken, for the second guitar part, I've taken the rhythm of the shaker and I've applied that to all the chords. So now you're like taking an element from the recording and turning it into a guitar part. So there's lots and lots to learn from there. Time of Your Life, Green Day. We learned the original part, which is very interesting there. They're playing in G, so it's G, C, and D. The G chord is actually G5. And that means we get a bit more of that punky kind of vibe. And then rather than if we play a full G chord with a third in it, a major third. When we learn the second guitar part, we transpose that rather to the key of C, and then we put a capo on, so we get back in the key of G again. And now there is a third there, and all of a sudden this song sounds like a country song, not a punk song anymore. It's not really a punk song really, is it? But it sounds really country by having that third. So it's a massive lesson to be learned there. We also actually transcribed the violin fiddle solo for that song, so we learned that in the second guitar part as well. Wonderwall, we do as the original, although again that's a song where you can hear the guitar in the beginning on the original recording, and then it kind of disappears and is replaced by production. And the original guitar is played quite badly, so to speak. It's like a lot of strings, you know. So what I've done there, in order for this to work just past the intro or the first verse, is I'm dividing up the strumming a lot more, so it becomes more nice to listen to if that's all you've got. And for the second guitar part, I'm being very sparse and just kind of enhancing what the first one's doing. And then we have Rewind by Paolo Nutini. Great artist, which I've actually toured with that guy. He's an incredible singer. And that song, Rewind, from his first album, I thought was so good, I had to include that in this course. And there's a second and even a third, actually, guitar part there to learn. We change key and we put a cape on to get back in it. And I kind of wrote a little riff there to go along with it, which I thought was nice, but then I overdid it, so I played too many times. And again, there's lots to learn from that by going through that process. And what you can do when you learn the first guitar, which is similar, or at least somewhere in the same area as the original recording. Once you've done that, you learn the second guitar part and learn how to think about the song more deeply. Sometimes you transpose it and put a cape on, and you learn from that. And then you could like kind of invent your own part as well. So if you meet someone who plays guitars and sing, who play guitar and sing, you can, you will have, after completed this course, learn how to develop a part that supports what they're doing, which is very important. That's kind of how you need to be thinking when you play guitar in general, actually. What can I do that enhances what is already going on? And the final song in the course is the first one without a pick. It's fingerstyle. That's Ain't No Sunshine. And before we play that song, we actually learn a bunch of fingerstyle techniques and stuff to get you into it. And then the second guitar part for that is back to a pick again. And now we're being influenced by the drum beat on the original recording. So you learn all these songs, and that's great, you know. But then we dig deeper into them, and we learn more about music and specifically how to change key, create a second guitar part using a capo, and really enhance what is already happening. And that should be your focus in general when you play a guitar. How do I make what is happening better? Or at least, you know, don't play the same thing as me, you know, because if you play the same thing as me, we're just going to crash, because it's never going to be perfect. And even if it is, it's like, well, I'm already doing that. Stop playing my part, you know. So when you learn the first guitar, play along with me, play the same thing from a perspective of you need to learn how to play it like that if you play it on your own. But then to play with us, that's where the rewards really begin. So if you want to learn more about these songs before you sign up, you can look below here. There's a link to each song. You get the chords, and you can see what the lessons are about. There's 8 lessons per song. And I hope to see you then on the other side.